Alright, I wanted to show you how to take apart, clean, and inspect the steam air auto frothing wand for the UNIC espresso machines. There is some daily maintenance that's going to be done to clean these, and then I'll show you how to take it apart a little deeper in case there's some clogging or something going on. Right, so this wand will be upright in the machine, like so. Right, and to start taking this apart, we start down at the tip, and the tip should twist off right here. And then we need to remove this probe cover, right? We don't want to damage this probe. So if we kind of help support this with one hand, this piece will slide right off. Take notice of this cover. On the top on one side you can see there's a notch, and on the other side there's not. There's just a hole right there for this probe. When putting this back together, right, that notch needs to be at the top so the probe can sit flush in there. If you put it in backwards, you can see that that sits up the top. It's going to get all smashed up if you try to force that on and put it together like that. So at reassembly, make sure that that's down there in that notch. Right. And we can set this probe aside, and we're left with this. From here, for most of what you're going to do, your daily cleaning will be take this off and this cover, and then this would be remaining hanging in the machine, and you'll leave this alone. So the parts that you would normally be throwing in your jug of milk cleaner are going to be this cover there, and then this part of the wand will also come apart. Right, so we would take this, we like to use Rinza, but get the appropriate amount of Rinza and water mixed up and just let this soak, and after a little bit come back with a brush and you can clean it off. You can see this is I chose a really dirty one to show you. This has baked on milk there. That's going to need to come off, and here at the tip you can see that these holes are completely clogged with milk, so there's no steam that's going to come out of here, which will lead me to a quick aside. If you're using your wand and you're not getting any steam, but you notice that out of here you're seeing bubbles, that would be because this tip is clogged and the steam has nowhere to go but to force itself up out of the top. So if you get that problem, you know you can take this tip off and use like a soft wooden toothpick or the back end of like a Puricalf scoop that has the little metal wire poking out, and you can clear these holes, and then put it in the milk cleaner and get that all freshened up so this starts working again. Okay. Now, with this all cleaned, in the event that none of this is working, or you clean it and you get a leak or it's not drawing right, the first thing you're going to want to look at is your seals. So, starting up here with this piece at the top, you should have an O-ring right here. Make sure that that's in good shape. It's not cracked, it's not missing, right there. And then working our way down, you'll have another one here and another one here. I think that's all for the O-rings. But if any of those are damaged or they're leaking, you're not going to get a good seal, you're not going to foam right, you might just get huge crazy bubbles that are overflowing the pitcher, right? You're getting too much air in there. If all that looks good and we need to go deeper, then we need to focus on this piece that's still going to be hanging off of the machine. And that's a little trickier to access, right? If this is your front view, you're going to have to turn it around so you're looking at the back, the portion that's usually facing away from you. We're looking for this hole, right? We want this hole to line up with a little set screw in there, which is a 2.5 millimeter Allen head. So to continue taking this apart, we're going to pull that screw out of there. And don't lose it because it's really tiny. And with that set screw out, we can pop this off. Now underneath here is a brass piece that's going to fall out, this piece right here, and there's a couple of ball bearings, so you don't want to be too rough with it. I like to kind of just controlled press down and pull it out like this. Right. And And here we'll see we have yet another O-ring on this pipe that you need to look at. Okay, right in here, those two ball bearings right there, these are in little posts so they don't freely roll around. They're in there, but they will fall out and disappear on you. And then this guy. So if you are getting steam, but you're not foaming milk, it's just making hot milk and it's not frothing, where you want to look right here are these three holes right here. Those are your air inlet holes. If those get clogged, and they appear to be, because I'm not seeing any light through them right now, you won't get any air intake into the wand, you won't foam, you'll just get steam. Okay, I got a little bit of light through that small one there, but these other two look kind of clogged. What you do not want to do is take a thumbtack or any kind of anything and run it through these holes. They are way too small. These are like 1/1000th of a millimeter. These are very, very tiny holes. So this would be soaked in that milk cleaner, and hopefully you can shake it around. It's usually not too tough to get those to clear because there's just not that much in there, but you want to make sure those get clear. So soak them in the milk cleaner, rinse it out, see if you can blow through it, hold it up to the light, and make sure you can see, you know, daylight through there. It won't be much light, but you should be able to see it. So recapping on your potential problem points, right? O-ring here, O-ring here, O-ring here, O-ring here. All of those need to be right. 1, 2, 3, 4 O-rings. And your air inlet holes right here, right? So we'll pretend that I cleaned all these and everything's good to go. I've freshened up, I've ordered new O-rings, put new O-rings on. This is happy, so just the reassembly portion of this will be like so. We start here again. We've got our hole for the set screw and our hole here. Those need to line up and then come, and you can see this divot on the back where the set screw goes into. So 3 things have to line up here to make this go in right. So we press it in, and that looks like that's where that needs to be. And you definitely do not need to remove the wand completely from the machine like this to service it. It was just easier for the purposes of making this video. So you'll probably be doing this all, you know, with it attached to the machine. Okay, so we got our set screw in there. I always, before I go further than that, when I get the screw in, make sure this rotates, just to make sure nothing went sideways there. And that looks good. Okay, so from here, this cover comes over, it just hangs loose. This is held in by this little ridge right there. Right, so once this threads in, that'll all be in place. This attaches here. And then we can get back to our probe. So remember, this notch goes on the top. So we're going to put our probe here. That all slides on, and we finish up threading on the tip. And that would be disassembly, inspection, and reassembly of the steam air wand.